I'm going to say on this podcast right now that I ain't never said. I ain't going to hold back. The things he says and the things he has said to people, it's gotten back to me. The things that he's tried to do, if it were up to him, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Did he try to get you off the air?
You understand what I'm saying? There's no way that you're in an arena, you're LeBron James, and the only angle that somebody sees is a straight up shot of you getting in my face. They see no reaction, they see nothing, and that's an accident.
I ask you straight up, do you think you felt set up in that moment?
Damn right.
Okay.
Damn right I did.
You thought he had somebody out there too?
Damn right that did.
Okay.
Damn right. That's how I feel. And then you gonna turn around and come on ESPN with Pat McAfee, white boy who comes on after First Take on the channel that I've worked on and starred on. You gonna come on my channel on a show that comes on after me just to dog me? Nah, we ain't. And what you dogging me about? Be a man.
Stephen A. Smith exposes LeBron James. Check out what he had to say, and then I'll come back with my comments.
You make it a point to never make it personal
Right.
with any of your critiques with anybody.
Right.
And I think a lot of people who probably either saw what you said about Bronny or the game, it's that blurred gray line where it is basketball, it is the game, but from one specific person's point of view, it is personal.
But I don't think it was for that, though. I mean,
Go ahead.
Well, we already know LeBron James, he's the ultimate capper, the ultimate fraud. So what LeBron did was he tried to make it look like Stephen A. was talking about Bronny, but he was really talking about LeBron James. So I don't agree with everything Stephen A. Smith says, but just as far as this portion of the beef with LeBron James, I don't think he said anything wrong. He wasn't bad-mouthing Bronny. He wasn't talking about him. Even though there's a lot to say about Bronny James, Stephen A's been walking on eggshells. But again, LeBron has to do everything in his power to change the narrative, make it about him, and that's why he confronted Stephen A. Smith.
I don't think it was just that. You get what I'm saying? We talk about years and years and years and years of history here. You know, like I said before, that goes deeper than rap. So whatever it is, you would have to peel back those layers and really sit down and have a real conversation, because from my perspective, it wasn't just about what he said about Bronny. It was a buildup from everything over the years, and that right there just hit home. That hit close to home. So of course I got, at this point in time, it's that I got to take care of. Now is my time to say something. Enough is enough type of situation from that side.
I will say this. I'm going to say on this podcast right now that I ain't never said. I ain't going to hold back. I'm going to preface my comment by saying, if y'all wouldn't have asked me about him, I wouldn't have talked about him.
Indeed.
I have no desire to talk about LeBron James. But I'm in the media. I am who I am. And it's pretty hard for me to say no comment.
Yeah, you're not saying no comment when it comes to LeBron James. He's the most notable basketball player on earth, no matter if you like him or not. When you talk about LeBron James, it's going to make media headlines. So, again, maybe Stephen A. Smith doesn't want to go too much in detail, but he is letting the cat out the bag. So, again, Stephen A., don't shy away from this LeBron James talk. There's some stuff about LeBron James that you know that you don't want to put out in the public, but it's time to expose LeFraud James.
I ain't talking about something. When I bring people on to talk about stuff, it's just something that's hypocritical about that for me. So I want to preface my comment by saying that. I want to say also, before I get into it, that I don't get touched very easily. I'm talking about emotionally, where I look at athletes and all of this other stuff, and you know, what they say affects me in a very touching way. When I saw D Wade on this show with Melo, I cannot tell you how touched I was that both of them said what they said. It didn't matter to me whether they agreed with me or not. What they both said is, we fuck with Stephen A. See what I'm saying? Before anything. And from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate it.
Indeed.
Because you got a lot of cats out there, including some, so I'm just going to say some sorry motherfuckers in the NBA right now. that that all of a sudden forgot who I was and who I've been just because of some situation with LeBron. What that got to do with y'all?
He must be talking about Draymond Green. He's one of the more vocal ones when it came to the whole Stephen A. Smith and LeBron beef. You already know Draymond Green. He will crash out about his king. If you're Stephen A. Smith, be very careful when you're at these games at the arena talking about the Warriors, covering their games in person, because Draymond Green will step to you. You've seen what he did to Jordan Poole. He won't hesitate to do that to you if it's about his king, LeBron James.
What that got to do with y'all? You know, the fact that D Wade and Melo could sit here and whether they agreed or disagree with any element about us, acknowledge that, yo, man, that's our dude, man. We with Stephen A, we cool with him. That's all I care about.
Yep.
Because we can agree or disagree, but I didn't do anything to them. Why would you have personal animus towards me because of what happened with me and LeBron? It's none of your business.
Mm-hmm.
You have an opinion about the incident,
Mm-hmm.
but to have an opinion about me when you don't even know what's going on, I'm going to remember those cats. You know me and my memory now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to forget.
Yeah.
Yeah, the reason they're so up in arms about LeBron James is because he's powerful in the media, in the NBA. You want to surround yourself with LeBron. You want to be in that network, that infrastructure. So, of course, people like Draymond Green that are trying to break out into the media scene, they want to be cool with LeBron James. They want to stay in good standings at Clutch Sports. So I expect pawns like Draymond Green to go all out, even Nick Wright, even people like Shannon Sharpe. Don't be surprised if Shannon Sharpe crashes out on Stephen A. Smith.
Ain't gonna do nothing. Ain't gonna do anything, but I ain't gonna forget. Okay? And when I remember something, that I'm gonna remember.
See, well, but when you say that, right?
What I mean by that is
People are gonna assume that
Okay.
you're gonna make it a
no,
personal thing
no.
now.
Well, I'm not gonna do that because
Okay.
they ain't worth my money.
Gotcha.
I'm not gonna do anything
lot
that's
of
gonna
money.
compromise. Damn right. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm not gonna do anything that's gonna compromise me, my name, the company I represent. And it ain't just ESPN, it's SiriusXM, it's my own brand, okay? I'm never going to do anything like that. I'm going to always make sure I maintain professionalism. But Melo knows what I mean when I say this. There's a whole bunch of cats that come to me for a lot of assistance. A lot of cats that want to get in this industry, a lot of cats that got personal stuff they want the media to veer away from. They don't want the media. You know, ain't no damn podcast and YouTube show. I work for the worldwide leader. I work for a national or international brand like SiriusXM. You understand? I know everybody from the president on down. It's a simple phone call.
Yeah, I know Stephen A. Smith, he wants to protect that bag, and I'm not saying crash out on LeBron, just say a bunch of BS that isn't true or doesn't make sense and jeopardize that bag with ESPN, SiriusXM, and all the brands and sponsors that he's working with. Yeah, stand on business, get your check, but you got to understand, if there's some real information you can divulge about LeBron James that isn't a lie, that's facts, and you got the receipts, I say let it out. Your bosses know what's going on. They want you to talk about LeBron James. You remember, you weren't going to talk about the LeBron incident, but your bosses, your production crew, they reached out to you and let you know you got to address this. So if you're the bosses at ESPN, you got to let Stephen A. Smith talk his talk when it comes to LeBron James.
I got cats on speed dial. There ain't no doubt in it because I've proven it. The contract alone proves that you don't get what I got unless you doing good work and you got connections. That's just the way it goes. Having said all of that, I'm just saying I'm going to remember because it hurt me, because it had nothing to do with a lot of these people. And they didn't take a moment to sit up there and say, damn, Stephen A. been in this business for 30 years. That's never happened. Why now? That's all I wanted somebody to ask. But nobody asked.
They're not going to do that with LeBron James. Come on, Stephen A. Smith. You know what's going on with LeBron. You know he has all the power in the NBA and in media. When it comes to sports media, you want to stay around that. You don't want to mess that network up. So, for example, Draymond Green, he had to choose your friendship or LeBron James' network. He chose the network of LeBron James. He sold his soul to Clutch Sports.
So you want to hate on me? Fine, no problem. Now let me get to LeBron. I don't like his ass. Not a little bit. I understand what he means to Melo. I understand what he means to D Wade, my boys. I understand it. But all I'm going to say when it comes to that, Melo is 1,000% right. This dates back more than a decade. I'm not going to go into detail of this man has tried to do to me. People don't understand. You don't know that you do not understand.
Come on, Stephen A. This is like the 10th time you said LeBron James has been doing stuff behind the scenes to destroy you, make you look a certain way. What is he doing? Is he telling people don't work with you? Is he spreading false rumors about you talking about Bronny James or whatever the case may be? I don't think it's anything that damning that's going to mess up your bag if you explain in detail what LeBron James is doing behind the scenes. You're saying it, but you're not saying it at the same time. So I know you got a lot of money on the line, but you talking about what LeBron is actually doing behind the scenes, I don't think ESPN or SiriusXM, they're going to step away from you. We all want to know what LeBron James is doing to you behind the scenes.
The links this man would go to. You know, I believe he's one way publicly, he's another way privately. I believe he's, you know, he might not be interviewed and he might not be quoted, but the things he says and the things he has said to people, it's gotten back to me. The things that he's tried to do, if it were up to him, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Yeah, I really want to know what's going on with LeBron James. I know he has the power behind the scenes and he can make some moves in media. So what's really going on, Stephen A? What is LeBron James really doing behind the scenes in order to try to destroy you? We already heard Russell Westbrook. Some quotes are out there that he not really rocking with LeBron, basically calling him fake, two-sided, a snake. Stephen A. Smith is proving that LeBron James is a fraud.
Did he try to get you off the air?
You understand what I'm saying? I'm not going there. Okay. Figure it out.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Because I'm not going to find
question.
myself in a position where it can get uglier. I'm not going to do it.
Okay.
But I'm telling you, I'm not asking. It's some low
Good journalism by a homie. He basically said, did he try to get you off air? And I believe that was the case. He's not going to go in detail. I don't know if Clutch Sports got him a little scared right now, but it looked like he's standing on business. He got his glasses on. He on some cinematic Stephen A. Smith type stuff. So if you're Stephen A., don't be afraid of Clutch. Don't be afraid of LeBron. You got mutual homies. I don't think it's going to get to that next level, or maybe it did, but again, Stephen A., stand on business and spill the beans about what LeBron James is doing to you behind the scenes.
The day that he rolled up on me courtside, it was the day my contract was announced. That I had stayed with ESPN, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
Go back and look at the camera angles. I arrived there in the first quarter. He rolled up on me in the third quarter. When he rolled up on me in the third quarter, this is 2025. We got technology everywhere. TNT is a nationally televised game. How is it we got one angle and the only angle you see was of him and his face? But you see the back of my peanut head. How is that the only angle that you saw? How? Y'all guess.
Okay.
I'm not going there. I'm just telling you what I see. Remember, I'm in this business.
So basically, in my opinion, allegedly, what LeBron James had someone go ahead and film it. I'm about to walk up to Stephen A. Smith. They mapped this out to make it look a certain way because it was perfect. It was all eyes on LeBron, and then you're only going to see Stephen A. Smith from an angle. So Stephen A., you're getting a little more personal with this information. Just go ahead and let it all out. It's okay. LeBron won't hurt you.
Got my social media person right there.
Right.
You understand? I've been an executive producer for years. I know this, but I know a thing or two about camera angles. I determine them half the time.
Yep.
Do this angle, do this angle, do that angle. This is my business. I'm here. I know what that is. There's no way that you're in an arena, you're LeBron James, and the only angle that somebody sees is a straight up shot of you getting in my face. They see no reaction, they see nothing, and that's an accident.
All right, so
LeBron had that clutch film crew, cinematic crew. Go ahead and get this angle. I'm going to walk up to Stephen A. Smith. You going to catch his peanut head, and you just going to catch me yelling at him, and Stephen A. Smith going to look scared. It's all about the optics, the narratives, Clutch Sports. They played Stephen A. Smith.
I'll ask you straight up.
It doesn't happen.
I'll ask you straight up. Do you think you felt set up in that moment?
Damn right.
Okay.
Damn right I did.
You thought he had somebody out there too.
Damn right that did.
Okay.
Damn right. That's how I feel.
Okay.
Okay? But no big deal. No problem.
Let it out, Steven.
Because I go on the air the next day and I'm like, that's a dad reacting to his son. Wife's at the game, family's at the game. That's family.
Yeah.
That could happen with anybody.
He copped
Right.
out.
Which is what I meant when I said I had no intentions of talking about it, because I didn't know anybody saw it. And I'm like, I'm not going to talk about this because the man coming at me because of his son's a son.
Everybody saw it.
Happens on a Thursday. That's a Friday. That's Saturday. Richard Jefferson is doing the game in Boston. Still mic'd. He's working for ESPN. And we see LeBron say to him, yo, man, when he said, as a father, I had it. So I'm thinking, oh, that's not about Bronny. That's about you. Okay. Let's talk about you as a father.
Yeah, it was all a play on LeBron James. This had nothing to do with Bronny. It was all LeBron James trying to change the narratives. He knows that Stephen A. Smith never disrespected Bronny. People online, people on the internet, people not on mainstream media. We got a lot to say about Bronny, but Stephen A. Smith's been walking on eggshells. Doesn't want to talk about how trash Bronny is. So he wanted to really talk about LeBron James, like, you're the reason why he's in the league. It was nothing to disrespect him as a father, just more like Bronny shouldn't be in the league and this is all LeBron James' fault. He spun that and made it seem like Stephen A. was trashing Bronny. That wasn't the case.
Bronny ain't at home in Brentwood. That's Crypto.com Arena. He ain't wearing street clothes. That's a purple and gold uniform he's on. He's a Laker. It's my job to cover the NBA. It's my job to cover basketball. I just told him, Melo, I ain't see Kenyon play. Because I know that if I walk into an arena to watch his son play, everybody's going to ask me, how do I feel? Not just about him, about Melo's son, who's my boy. I know that if I walk into an arena to watch Bronny play, they ain't going to ask me about Bronny. They're going to ask me about LeBron's son. I don't think it's fair to the kids. So I never went. I never once saw Bronny play in high school, ever. Everybody was talking to me about it. I never watched. I wouldn't go because I wanted to show LeBron James and his family that respect. Because I happen to think that Savannah is the first lady of basketball. I think she's wonderful. She's just a wonderful, wonderful human being.
Indeed.
And it actually breaks my heart that I could have done anything to make her upset. With Gloria, his mom, who has always been wonderful to me. Wonderful people.
You see how Stephen A. Smith, he tried to bow out with this whole LeBron beef. He didn't want to take it there. But of course, LeBron James had to go on the Pat McAfee show, trash him on ESPN right after ESPN First Take ended. And that's where things really got personal with Stephen A. Smith. So even though he's been walking on eggshells, didn't want to talk about the whole situation, you got no choice when you're going against LeBron James. You have to defeat the media giant.
I got nothing to say about them. I got nothing to say about Bronny, who I think could be an NBA player someday. I think he continue developing the G League and then ultimately coming up here working out with the team, stuff like that. I think he's got a chance, right? Which is what I said.
Right.
Okay? So Rich Paul, Maverick Carter, Randy, I, for years, not but respect, always been cool with them. I know where their loyalties lie. It should. Do you? No problem. But I'm looking at it and I'm going like, I never watched him in high school. I wasn't the one that said I ain't never seen no All-American averaging 14 points a game. No, McDonald's All-American averaging. That was Kendrick Perkins. I wasn't the one out here talking about Bronny. That was other people. He goes to USC. He has the heart ailment. Our heart goes out to him. We praying that he's going to be okay. We turn around. We go from there. Okay, he wants to enter the NBA draft, even though he hasn't really played on a collegiate level. All right, fine. With what LeBron James has done for this league, everybody shut up. If that's where he wants and that's where he could fit, manipulate, no problem. It's no big deal there. Congratulations.
He basically saying Bronny shouldn't be in the league, All-American, 14 points, going to USC, had the heart situation, and still got drafted into the NBA. Think about how many people have those type of ailments, and it's tough for them to get into the league. But if you're the son of LeBron James, have the power in media and the NBA with Clutch Sports, anything is possible. So Stephen A. Smith, he hasn't been saying anything about Bronny, so maybe now Stephen A. Smith can keep it real that Bronny James is trash and he shouldn't be in the NBA.
Oh, he ends up getting drafted by the Los Angeles Lakers. Congratulations. No problem. Oh, he ends up being there opening night. That father-son moment with Ken Griffey Jr. and Sr. in attendance. I was there at the game, standing up, clapping. No problem. It became a problem when this brother was in the G League, and then the next day, J.J. Redick decides to bring him in the first quarter and ask him to guard Tyrese Maxey.
Yeah.
Go back and watch the film.
Yeah.
Tyrese Maxey, if you could literally feel or see somebody drooling at the mouth, give me the ball. You know, that was Tyrese Maxey. It was a nightmare. And I'm like, you can't do that to him. But you also can't do that to us. We're the media. Now you asking us not to cover the game. You can't do that to us. You are who you are. In my opinion, the second greatest player in the history of basketball. 4-time champion, 4-time league MVP, absolute difference maker, basketball ambassador, high character. I can feel the way I feel about him based on how I feel he's treated me. I've never encouraged anybody else to feel any way about him. I've never encouraged anybody else to dog him, isolate, do whatever. No, I'm telling you how I felt about him based on my treatment from him. But my point is, all of those things transpired. You know this. And not only do you try to paint me as a person that would attack somebody's family, when I've been in this business for 30 years and no one has ever accused me of that. Could I be cool with him? Could I be cool with D-Wade? Could I have been cool with Kobe? Could I be cool with Shaq? Could I be cool with AI? Could I be cool with all the players that I've been cool with all of these years if I would ever do something like that? Now you're getting into my character.
And that just lets you know the character of LeBron James. For him to paint that narrative like Stephen A. Smith is a bad guy, talking about people, kids, that's low for LeBron James. I already call him LaFraud and all that, but when you disrespect the man and his character, saying that he's intentionally trying to diss your son, knowing he wasn't talking about your son, Bronny James, being trash, LeBron James, he crossed the line, and Stephen A. Smith has every right to go at him, even though he's still holding back information. Maybe one day he'll really go in detail on how LeBron James tried to ruin his career.
Because you pissed off that I don't have you as the GOAT or whatever other reason it is? Nah, that ain't right.
That's
and so
all
my point is that with all of that happening, the last straw was not him rolling up on me on courtside. Even though all he had to do, and you could ask Melo, if you sit up there, and Rich Paul will tell you this, if you sat up there and said, yo, LeBron pissed off, he needs to talk to you man to man. And I was in New York, what would I do? I'd be on the next plane to LA. Where you want me at? Where you want me at? I'll go see him. Everybody knows that about me. I'm not hiding. If I'm wrong, I'll say I'm wrong. And if I did something wrong publicly, I'll apologize publicly. I ain't gonna do something wrong publicly and apologize privately. You know that. I don't play that game. You own what you own. That's me. That's been my reputation for 30 freaking years. And then you gonna turn around and come on ESPN with Pat McAfee, white boy who comes on after First Take on the channel that I've worked on and starred on. I have the #1 show for 13 straight years and counting. There ain't a day, there ain't a week, ain't a month I've lost. You gonna come on my channel on a show that comes on after me just to dog me? Nah, we ain't. And what you dogging me about? Be a man.
Yeah, that was the ultimate slap in the face. If you're LeBron James or Stephen A. Smith, you're going to go on someone that he's not cool with, Stephen A. Smith. Him and Pat ain't rocking right now. There have been a lot of reports, alleged rumors that they're not on the same page. They may have had a back or forth or two. Don't know if it's true or not, but Stephen A. Smith, he ain't cool like that with Pat. So LeBron knew that, you know what? Let me go on the Ops platform and diss Stephen A. Smith. It was a good petty chess move by LeBron James, but that's what really ignited the war between him and Stephen A. Smith.
Yo, I don't like him either. Cool. Nah, I have to protect my family. That's the narrative you playing? Yo, bro, when I tell y'all, you can't measure the level of how pissed off I have been over that. There is no level of disrespect that has ever been accorded to me in my life off of what he did, more so than what he did. To try to paint me as somebody who would attack somebody's family, knowing I've never done it, I can't tell you how offensive I find that. So to me, that was the last straw. And as a result, I said, yo, we don't like each other. Let's stop this nonsense. Yeah, we got to be professional, but we could be professional and honest. I don't like your.
So yeah, man, Stephen A. Smith, he's standing on business, but not all the way standing on business because he's not really going in full detail, like the specifics of what LeBron James is doing behind the scenes. We know on the surface level, he tried to paint Stephen A. Smith out to be someone that's disrespecting his child, knowing that he wasn't disrespecting Bronny. Now, there's people online that's going to tell you the truth about Bronny, myself included, but Stephen A. Smith, he's been walking on eggshells, walking around Bronny James being trash. He'll talk about everything under the sun except Bronny James. That's a lot of people in mainstream media. Bronny can score 7 points in the G League or 7 points in the preseason. All we're going to see is that putback dunk versus the Golden State Warriors, but we're going to ignore the 5 and 6 turnovers he had in that game. So again, a lot of capping for Bronny because he's the son of LeBron James and he's protected by Clutch Sports and the media. But Stephen A. Smith, he wants all the smoke with LeBron James, and hopefully in the near future, he goes in detail on what LeBron James did to him behind the scenes.